Alright guys, we're finally here with the Juvia's Place complexion products. Alright, so we're going to hop right on into it. But before we do, I'm going to do some priming. I'm going to use the Tarte primer, the Silk Canvas primer, instead of like a mattifying primer. And we'll see how this goes. I'll definitely put timestamps in because there's a couple things that I wanted to do with this video. Hopefully it's helpful. I want to take this opportunity to use some of my Juvia's Place palettes, like to complete a full look as much as I can with Juvia's Place. And I have so many palettes that I have not touched on the channel that I thought this would be a good opportunity to do that. And then for the foundation, I want to share with you guys some comparisons to other shades. Like if you're my shade, and if I hopefully picked the right shade, then you guys can see some of the other shades in my collection that might match. Here are the packages. Here's the packaging. Very cute. I like this color, like very corally, very similar I think with the, you know, coral palette that they just came out with. I do have a video of that on my channel, so I'll put that over here. So definitely check that out. First impressions for that palette. But alright, I Am Magic foundation. We've got the shade for the foundation, Gabon. This is supposed to be, this is in the dark family. You know, the Nubian kingdom, the dark row of foundation shades. And then this has an undertone of neutral golden, like golden neutral. And so here is what the packaging looks like. Here is the top. It's just a squeeze tube. Looks like a bottle of lotion. I think that was a lot of people's complaint about this product, that it looks like a bottle of lotion and they wanted a pump. Unfortunately, they didn't have any color descriptions for the concealer. Wait, I went with shade 9. Oh, no, I wanted to pick up 9. Other people were picking up 11. So the numbering is a little bit confusing for me because most brands do it. Lightest has like number 1, and then darkest has, you know, the highest number would be in like 20 or something, you know. But this goes in the reverse. So the darkest shades have the early numbers like 1. I don't think it starts with 1, but just for an instance. And then but the concealer does start with number 1, and then as you get lighter, then the shades, you know, go up. Alright, but they don't have shade descriptions on their website for the concealers, at least when I picked this up. So let me just go on ahead and swatch Gabon for you. Alright, so this is what it looks like. It's very thick and it's not going anywhere. It's like just sitting there. It's not even moving. Alright, so that's what that looks like. It looks like it's a little bit darker than my chest, but I think it'll be a nice medium between the chest, the tone of my chest, and my face. So that's what that shade looks like there. Next to it, I'm going to swatch my Tarte Face Tape. This is one of my more recent foundations that I'm very happy with. This is in the shade 53G Deep Golden. That was too far over. Alright, so this one, the 53G, looks more golden and a little bit lighter than Gabon. So it's interesting. I thought I was actually concerned that Gabon might be a little bit too light, but I'm so happy I didn't go any darker. Let me show you guys one you may have. The NARS Natural Radiant. Here I have the shade New Caledonia. This is one of the shades that's one of my foundations that I do like the shade of it, but it is one of the richer shades that I have in my collection. It matches more to my face than my chest, so we're gonna get this right here. I like the shade match for me, for my face. And then when I do my concealer and everything, it really comes out very nicely. I'm gonna show you guys the Hourglass stick. This is in Golden Almond, the Hourglass stick. I still have this one, even though I don't think this is a good match for me. I think it's a bit too light, but alright. This is Fenty 445. Alright, Fenty 445. I think it's kind of similar to the Fenty 445. Alright, I think I'm just going to do one more. It's going to be the Smashbox Studio Skin in 4.25. Okay, I think we might have a match as far as my skin or my foundation shades. This Smashbox 4.25 looks like it's really, really close to the Gabon shade from Juvia's Place. you know, here's a comparison for you guys if you're any of these shades. I will list these shades in the description box below. But hopefully I hit on some for you that you have in your collection. Alright, on to the application. It's supposed to have a velvety matte finish. Alright, so I got this much on my finger. You know, not a lot at all. And I'm just going to dot this onto the skin. Not getting a lot because I'm not afraid, but I don't want to go overboard. Alright, so on one side I'm going to blend with a brush. The other side I'm going to use a sponge. This is a Juvia's Place foundation brush. What do you guys think? I think that's a nice match for me. I didn't put that much on my face, so I'm going to add a little bit more. Just added a little bit more. Alright, so what do you guys think? I think I got a nice medium coverage. I can go full coverage with it, but I'm just squeezing out a tiny bit and then adding it. And I'm going to press this in because this is the area where I have more discoloration. Kind of talked about it in my Huda Beauty video about the tan tour. So yeah, what I would do, of course I would just do a little bit and then go back in and add where you need it. And it looks nice. It looks really nice. The finish looks very, very nice. Like, very nice. Velvety matte. It just looks so smooth. Now I'm going to go in with this sponge. It's a clean sponge. The sponge I had been talking to you guys about. The argan oil infused sponge that I picked up from Meyer. And I'm going to need to add more on this side too. Here's what you can get, you know, a nice medium tone or nice medium coverage, you know, with the little small pat of product and spread it out over your face. And especially because I used a sponge on this side, it is more medium coverage than when I use the brush. Alright, so I'm adding this much more. Add some right there on my nose. I've got a little bit more discoloration there. And then add more right here. But I like the sponge side as well, you know. I like the sponge side as well. I'm going to go in with the concealer, see what the concealer can do. I have heard that the concealer is not as full coverage as the foundation. So we shall see. Ooh, that's bright. That is bright. Girl, I should have gotten... What in the heck? This is bright. It's okay. Alright, so I think this is kind of bright. Maybe it's just an undertone that's kind of taking me for a ride. That's the number 9 concealer. Then in this is the Chestnut Concealer by Too Faced. Yeah. I think it's just a difference of undertone or something. This looks more like yellow, golden, and this looks a little bit more neutral. This is the Juvia's Place. This is the Too Faced. I think it's just a difference in undertone. I'm going to start blending this out. Alright, it says our Magic Creamy Radiant Concealer smooths and conceals out dark circles, blemishes, and skin imperfections. So I think it doesn't say that it's supposed to be matte or anything like that. It just says conceal and perfect. So let's get into it. That blended out easily. Blending out extremely easily. Blend it into the foundation. So I think I'm pretty well blended, and I don't find there to be anything strange happening with my under eyes, like no excess, you know, creasing or anything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my normal set. I don't find this to be a drying concealer. I don't know. I heard someone say that they thought it was drying. I don't find it to be drying at all. Next, I'm going to take my Aquasurance powder like I usually do. And look up and place this right on the under eye. I'm going to take my Soft Focus powder by Black Radiance in the Creamy Bronze Finish shade. And then I'm just going to press this onto the skin to set the rest of the face. Alright guys, so this is what everything is looking like once it's been set. So yeah. Alright, so for my contour, I'm going to go into the Saharan Blush Volume 1 by obviously the Saharan Blush Volume 1 blush palette by Juvia's Place, of course. And I'm going into the shade Abby, or ABY. That's the shade here. I do have a video on these blush palettes, so check that out if you are interested. Okay, I'm going to tap this brush here into that powder very slightly. Kick off any excess and then add that here. And so, what does that look like on the viewfinder? It looks kind of harsh on the viewfinder, but in person it's really nice and blended out. So, hopefully that's just the viewfinder and not the actual, you know, footage. Because y'all know I'm going through something with my viewfinder, so. Alright, do the same on the other side. Alright, I think that's really pretty. A nice, you know, contour shade. Yeah, so that's, you know, that's that shade there. For blush, I think I'm going to come back to blush and highlight after I do my eyes. Alright, so this is a very exciting part for me because I have so many Juvia's Place palettes. I don't have all of them, but I have a lot of Juvia's Place eyeshadow palettes. And I have not tapped into hardly any of their potential because, you know, I'm usually going to work, okay? But we're going to do something fun in this video with the eyes. That is my goal. Alright, so I wanted to use a palette that I have not used on the channel recently. So that leaves the Tribe. I'm not going to do the Tribe. I'm not going to do Warriors. I didn't do a Warrior 1 palette video, but that's an all neutral golden brown palette, so I'm gonna leave those three alone. And we've got the Douce by Juvia's. Here is the color story for this one. Very beautiful. Interesting color story though, with this dark brown here and the red, like reddish brick tone, and then we've got the bright colors. Very interesting tones in this palette. I have the Masquerade palette. This is a huge palette. When I opened this palette up today to look at it, I had not even swatched this entire area here. Any of these shades there, I hadn't even touched them. Not even swatched. And I don't know how. I think I've had this palette for a few years. Like, they still look new, even though I swatched them this morning just to look at them. And girl, I just fell in love all over again. Okay. Alright, then we've got Saharan by Juvia's. This one, smaller palette, and I think I've used this kind of like the most of all the palettes that I have because it has a lot of those neutrals, these neutral like shades here, but once again I don't think used any of these or even this shade here, so, or definitely not this one. That hasn't even been swatched. Sokoto, girl, I was just buying makeup, not even doing videos or nothing for like a year. Okay, and actually this one might be the most used. I have a video on my channel using this, doing like kind of like a fall type makeup look, and I'll put that over here. I do have a Juvia's Place playlist on my website, on my channel, so check that out. But here is that one. So I think I'm gonna leave this one actually, I don't know. I might be dipping into quite a few of these, but you guys, let's just hop right into it. What do I want? The interesting thing is that the mattes in these palettes typically lend themselves to being nice and neutral versus like overly bright and stuff. Like, I don't like, even though in that Masquerade palette we've got all those purples and blues up the top, there's only one matte bright color, and it's that one. The rest of the mattes are like browns. So that's an interesting that's interesting. Alright, let's just hop into it. Alright, so I'm going to go into the Douce by Juvia's, and I'm going to pick up this bright pink tone there. It's called Cream. Okay, and my eye has been prepared with the Lay and Low Paint and Pot by MAC. I'm getting a nice baby pink transition area there. Okay. Nothing too intense, but just a nice light shade for me to, you know, start blending the other shades into. I'm going to go into that Masquerade palette, and I'm going to use that magenta shade that I talked to you about, that I just showed you. And I'm going to lay that right in the crease. Looking down so that I can really get that color precisely where I want it. I did not put down any powder. Alright, I need to go back and do that. Going back in with the shade Cream from the Douce palette. Let's see about this shade, also in the Douce palette, called Custard. Let's see what that's looking like. Oh, that's very hot pink. Alright, so I've turned my brush to get the wider angle of it to kind of blend that up a little bit more. Because when I open my eye, it looks like the pink that I put down is kind of getting hidden. So I want to blend that up a little bit. These are blending beautifully. Can you guys see that? No skipping or anything like that. No patchiness. Like, seriously, it's just great. Alright, so I'm going to go into the Nubian 2 by Juvia's Place. Well, I don't need to say by Juvia's Place every time because you guys know that I'm using Juvia's Place eyeshadows. Ashley, what are you talking about? Alright, so I'm going to go into that, I think I'm going to go into Leela or Layla. It's like a purple toned metallic. It's dark in the Nubian 2. It is a very, very dark plum tone, and I'm going in on a brush, and I'm going to just lay that on the outer corner and see what I get with this. Usually I use Juvia's Place metallics with my fingers, so we're going to see how this goes. Now I'm having a little bit of trouble with laying that down with a brush, so maybe these are just something I need to only use with my finger. I'm just going to take my finger and lay that down. See if I can kind of correct some of that. Alright, that was easy to fix. It looked like it was just not getting all over the area that I wanted it to. It looked kind of patchy. So what I would kind of suggest, if you're going to try to use one of the metallic shades to blend out, like with a brush, maybe lay down that color where you want it and then take the brush around the edge of it to kind of get that to spread out a little bit more. I think that looks good though still. Woo! So I was going to plan on doing like a blue look, but I've got a lot of blue stuff coming into my collection. It's on the way, so I don't want to inundate you guys with blue. As much as I want to inundate you guys with blue, I don't want to inundate you guys with blue stuff. So, let's see what we're going to do next. Alright guys, so I'm going to go in with, it's called Makeda. And I'm going in with my finger. And I'm putting that on this outer area, overlapping the outer V. I'm going to take that on the inner corner as well, getting that halo effect. I'm going to go in with some glitter glue because there's this one shade that I know it's going to pop so nicely with some glitter glue. And this is going to be a lot for some people, so that's fine. You guys definitely don't have to do all this, but y'all know I be having my makeup playtimes. Alright, so I'm going to go into the shade, in the Douce palette, I'm going into the shade Tarte onto a flat brush. Got it on the brush there. I'm going to spray this brush. It's on the center. Oh my gosh, it's freaking beautiful. Like, it's freaking beautiful. Just like, seriously guys, are we sleeping on Juvia's Place or not? I'm not. Like, and it's so unassuming. You look like, okay, that's just going to be a little opal shade right there. Even just looking at it, it looks kind of like it's white. But girl, look at this like purple pink effect you get with that shade. I hope it's coming off right on camera, like on the footage, but it's so beautiful. All right, I'm gonna go into Puffs in the same palette. This one actually looks just like a light pink shimmer, like a really light pink shimmer. Very icy. This is a very icy pink. Yeah, you get that like silver effect with that one. And then I'm going to take that on that brush again, kick off any excess and put that on the inner corner. I'm going to add some of the custard back, or you know, add more of that to the crease. And I know I used my finger to put that deeper purple shade called Makeda from this Masquerade palette on my eye. I'm going to get some of that on this little toothbrush looking brush that I got from Real Techniques. And I'm going to blend that up. The purple tone from the inner corner, I'm going to blend that up into the crease a little bit more. I think I'm going to stick in the Douce. I don't want to use that purple tone on the lid or on the brow bone. I think I'm just going to go into Puffs. That's that like silvery pink shade that we put on the inner corner. I'm going to pop that on the brow bone. This is called Custard, the shade, the more like hot pinkish type of shade. I'm going to take that on the lower lash line. Okay, and then I'm also going to go back into my Nubian 2 palette, Layla shade, on this little toothbrush brush looking thing, and then sweep that on the lower lash line as well, closer to the brow or lashes. I think I've done enough for the eyes today, but oh my gosh, I'm so happy I got into these shades today, because I just had not gotten into them ever since I've had these palettes. I've had all of these palettes for at least a year. Some of them for 2 years. Lashes, liner, and I will be back for cheeks, and we can talk about the final impressions from the foundation and stuff. Alright? Not final impressions, but my final first impression, you know. Alright guys, here are the eyes finished. Did the same thing on both eyes, nothing different. So yeah, but I like the way everything came together, man. Very, very pretty. So next we're gonna get into some blush and highlight. What do we want to do? I think we're gonna do Saharan Volume 2. I think I'm gonna go with Lena. I think I'm gonna go with Lena and Tau, or B. Lena and B. Take Lena, which is that nice pink shade, and put that on the apples of the cheeks. Very nicely pigmented. Alright, then I'm taking B, the more mauve tone of that palette, and taking that back. And blending that nicely with the other one as well. Alright, so my cheeks are pretty pinky with that Lena shade, but I think it looks cute. Okay. Alright, and then for highlights, actually, I'm going to take it a little further with the blush. I'm going to go in with Sola here, like a blush topper, with my same brush that I just used. Kick off any excess, and then put that closer to the front of the face. So yeah, definitely a blush topper in that shade. And then for the highlight, I'm going to stay with this palette and go into Zoba, the lighter pink tone. And I'm using my Juvia's Place blending brush. Got some on there, kick off the excess, and just highlight. So as you can see with this shade, or hopefully you can see it, that even though that looks kind of, or even though that looks kind of like icy in the pan, it does have a nice golden shift to it. So it's not too much for a deeper skin tone person. You see, like, I put it up there and it looks golden. It doesn't look icy or like real pink. It's a beautiful shade to use for highlight. at least for my skin tone. Alright, so here's what the makeup is looking like before I do any setting spray. I have a little bit of like separation right here. I have had this makeup on now for, I feel like I started the video maybe like an hour and a half ago. If that gives you any indication of how long it takes to film these like makeup playtimes and stuff when I'm doing like a full face. Maybe an hour, okay, because it took me some time to actually get the stuff set up on my face, you know, actually apply the foundation and set it down and stuff. But everything is still looking very, very nice and matte. Even if they might say matte, sometimes by the time I'm finished with doing like a longer video or even just doing my makeup in general, I will see a little bit of shine peeking through, even though I have powdered down with like mattifying powders. So I'm really pleased with the way this is looking so far. You know, it's still very much so matte, and I don't see any oil peeking through. And during this time of the year, I want a matte foundation. Alright, so back, and here is the final look. Let me get closer for you. Alright, so this was a super fun video for me. One of my more favorite makeup playtimes, just because I got to really experience more of the Juvia's Place eyeshadows that I kind of, you know, had kind of forgotten about all the color and the impactfulness of their metallic eyeshadow palettes, or their metallic eyeshadow formula. So it was really fun for me to just dive into all the different palettes and come up with a very pretty, if I do say so myself, you know, eyeshadow look. Very pretty and very nice. So what I did do after I went and did my lip, I did apply some finishing spray, or, you know, setting spray, and it's the Huda Beauty Resting Boss Face. If you haven't seen that video, definitely check it out. I'll put a video over here. I sprayed that on, and quite honestly, after spraying that on, my face looks a little bit more dewy than it did before I went off camera to, you know, do my finishing steps, like do the lip and everything like that. However, everything still looks really nice and put in place. It just doesn't look as matte as it did before. However, that spray is really, I think it's really good if you can get over the smell and the fact that they have denatured alcohol in it. I think it's a really good setting spray, so I'm not concerned with it, you know, breaking down or causing like an overly shiny effect on the foundation. So but yes guys, definitely leave your comments in the comment section below. So what I'm gonna do is, like I did with my Huda Beauty video, I'm gonna leave a comment in the, like I'm gonna leave a pinned comment about how I think the makeup wore, because I'm gonna wear it again tomorrow. See how it wears as well, and tomorrow I'm not gonna put the setting spray on and see if that gives a different effect, you know what I mean? So yeah, but everything looks nice. I think it looks nice, full coverage, nice and seamless. I don't think it looks cakey or anything like that at all. And Juvia's Place did a great job with this foundation. From my first impressions, they did a great job. I didn't see any oxidizing or anything. I think everything looks good, okay? I wish the concealer was a little bit better as far as like the I don't know, the staying powder. I don't want to say coverage, because I feel like I got a decent coverage. Maybe first of all, if I get a better undertone for it, one that's a little bit more golden, and then if it was, I don't know if I want to say a little thicker, because it's not really that thick. It's very easy to blend. If you don't have a lot of fine lines under your eyes, I think you might like it. I don't think it's overly drying. I do think that it could use some better like staying power for me, for my fine lines. If you don't have fine lines, then maybe it'll be great, but I'm more impressed by the foundation. Eyeshadow palettes, girl, I don't think you can go wrong with Juvia's Place. I really don't. You guys see how the colors blended out with what I've used today, and then their blushes and stuff, very nice. Nice pigmentation, easy to blend, and girl, go Juvia's Place, go Juvia's Place. Alright, let me know what you think about this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. And I know it's long, but you know, it's a lot, okay? I hope this was valuable for you. I hope it was very informative for you. If you enjoyed it, give this video a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. If you want to see more comments comments. If you want to see more content from me, definitely hit that subscribe button. I upload videos 3 to 4 times per week, all right? And yeah, on this channel, we dive into high-end and luxury products, but when Juvia's Place comes out with something, I've got to jump on it, okay? So we do the occasional affordable video on the channel as well. If you like seeing those types of videos, then hit the subscribe button, all right? I will be talking to you guys very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching. See ya.